Well, Gary, all very frustrating, really. Another
Yeah.
weekend and no game.
Yeah, it's a shame. Obviously, you want to play. The lads are desperate to play as well. But I suppose the good thing is at the minute we're not struggling too much with our fixtures, whereas one or two of the other clubs are. So, unfortunately, that's we've just got to put up with it at the minute.
As soon as the Gateshead Wrexham game was called off, once you, I suppose you were thinking, we might be a bit unlucky here.
Yeah, I mean, it was always now with a trophy being around behind that takes the priority. So, we knew that could be the case, and we just had to do a little bit different with the training. But no problem. The lads have trained hard this week, and just looking forward to getting the game in.
And you've got two new strikers desperately waiting to prove what they can do. Presumably.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I mean, obviously frustrating for them, but at the minute they understand that's football, and like I say, they're working hard down the training ground, and they're both fitted in well and getting on well with the lads.
The Lee Hughes deal we knew was in the offing for quite a long time. You must have been quite relieved to get that sorted out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously for Lee to come back here. I think he's gone on record as saying obviously it's great to come back and be at the club where his career started, and hopefully put a little bit back in and, to the club what helped him on his way. So, yeah, he's been good this week with the younger lads, the strikers, been sort of chatting to them. So, yeah, good to have him back, and hopefully he can convert some of the chances we've been creating.
And a word about Dominic Knowles, what do you think he can bring to the party?
Yeah, Dominic's obviously the other end of the age scale, but his goals for games for Burton has been good, and he looks sharp in training as well, and he's another one. Let's hope he can go out there and get some goals.
And as it's 2 in, so it's 1 out really. Marvin Johnson's gone another well.
Yeah, well, I think again, it was probably the best kept secret that people are going to look at Marvin. To be fair to him, when I came back in as manager, I think I said he weren't in the team and going nowhere, and we had a chat, and Marvin's come back and done everything we asked of him, and I think he's thoroughly deserved with his form this season. Thoroughly deserved the move he's got.
And a good move for him as well, Scottish Premier League.
Yeah, it is. I mean, a good audience up there, and a couple of good games against Celtic, and he could be sort of off anywhere. Who knows? But no, I'm sure he'll kick on there if he shows the same work ethic he has here this last 12 months or so. Then he's got a good chance of moving again, maybe.
As you say, it was an open secret. There was a fair bit of interest in Marvin, but I suspect the fact it was Motherwell came as a bit of a surprise to some.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there was 2 or 3 sort of interested this way, if you like, in terms of the English leagues. But I think from Marvin's point of view, great to be in a position where you can sit down and choose 2 or 3 clubs, and I'm sure he's happy with the move. And speaking to him, he's been in touch, and wish him all the best. And like I say, I'm sure he'll do well up there.
When you go back that 18 months, when you have one of those conversations with players, and it's not just Marvin, a number of players presumably over the years, presumably that can go one of 2 ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, the strange thing is that Marvin's one of the 3 lads who have moved, obviously Shay and Nathan Blissett, and all 3 of them was very similar. When I come back in to take over from Andy Thornton, none of them was figuring, and I think a couple of them had even been told that they weren't good enough. So, yeah, it's strange, but good to see, obviously, them lads who have come in. We brought in, get their heads down, improve, and like with Marvin, I think the other 2 have, earned the right to move on, and I'm sure the 2 of them will do well as well.
And other than pre-season, this is going to be probably the longest lead into a league game you've had for a long time.
Yeah, it is. I think we look back and we did have a sort of similar break, and when we come back from that, we had a good run. So hopefully, we can do that again, and probably give us a chance to sort of see where we are, and focus on them last 14 games. And like we keep saying, it's come down to that now. So we're sort of looking and thinking if we can maybe win 8 or 9 of them, we've got a good chance of getting in the playoffs.
And still an awful long way to go, as you say, almost a third of the season left.
Yeah.
Obviously, January by definition now is where changes happen in the transfer window.
Yeah.
Presume it's important to keep the balance right in the side there.
It is. I mean, lots of people are saying, "Oh, obviously we've got loads of strikers." Well, I haven't got a problem with that because scoring goals wins you games. But you look at the midfield as well. Obviously, we lost Kyle, but there's the likes of Jack Byrne, Callum Gittins in there, loads of experience. I think Jack's played sort of nearly 150 games now and got 25 goals. So, there's a good experience there, and a couple of other lads who we know can fill in that position. So, you know, it's not that we're not sort of looking at that area, but just think at the minute the strikers, you know, is the priority.
And are we at the stage of the season yet where you're talking to players with regards to next season? Perhaps one or two might be out of contract.
That's a little bit difficult at the minute. Obviously, financially, again, we don't know where we are in terms of the budget for next season. There's one or two here that are sort of pending contracts. Obviously, Kyle Storer again, that situation. So, you know, we'll have to look at that. But at the minute, I think we just want to focus on trying to get ourselves into the playoffs, if you like, because who knows, if you can by some way get promoted, then I think the worry about contracts then tends to go out the window a little bit, and obviously the financial problems disappear as well.
And what game will you be watching this Saturday then?
Well, I went to Blues Norwich last week, and that was an absolute disgrace. I've watched some of our games this season, and I thought to myself, definitely not the best, but that was right up there with them. So maybe a conference game, Forest Green or Grimsby, or Barnet and Woking.